Guys, you know what time it is? It's time to talk some fantasy football. All right, we have in the house John Viveros, two-time champ. We got Brian. It's Bijan. No, it's Bijan, not Bijan. And our latest challenger, former co-host alongside with John and myself of the Last Minute Fantasy Scramble. We got Bobby Digital in the house. So here we are. If you're new to the show, this is points per take. Here we challenge each of these three contestants. We're going to go over your fantasy football questions. We are going to take on trivia games and the most brutal fantasy football challenges you have ever done. So that being said, you guys ready to get started?
Yeah, except I need to say one thing. It's Bijan, not Bajan.
It actually is Bijan.
No, he recently said he wants the Bijan, not Bajan.
Yeah.
Really?
He said it on the broadcast. He said that on the Sunday night broadcast.
Didn't he just say he wanted Bijan? I don't know.
I think he's just keeping everyone on their toes.
All right. I'm just going to call you Robinson.
That running back from
All right. So we are going to be doing a new segment this week to kick off the show. That is Panic or Patience. This is our first show of the regular season. So we are going to talk a little bit about those players who may or may not be underperforming and what do we do with them. So to kick us off, John, why don't you tell us a little bit about Scary Terry McLaurin?
Ooh, Scary Terry. I'm a huge Scary Terry fan. I've always have been ever since he came out of Ohio State. And then he obviously, this past season with Jaden Daniels, they had some great rapport and he worked out really well. Unfortunately, he's had a really slow start to the seain. I only saw 4 targets against the Giants which is arguably a soft opponent. Last week he did see 9 targets, but he really didn't do much with it. Only got 4 receptions. I do believe that it's still patience because he still has that wide receiver 1 quality like that, the possibility to be able to perform that well. He just hasn't really done it. And then we're just not really sure about what's going on with this Jaden Daniels injury. Like, how serious is it? How long is he going to be out for? Obviously, he's out this week. And then we'll see beyond that. 2 tough matchups. I think you're looking at the Vikings, obviously a very stout defense. And then next week going against the Broncos. So, he's going to see a healthy dose of Asante Samuel Jr. So we have to just, again, temper your expectations. But I think it's a lot more patience. Like, I think if you could trade him, trade low, like maybe you have a surplus of running back, surplus of another position to maybe get him. I think that'd be a good shot to go, but I don't think that you need to panic just quite yet. I think after probably next 2-3 weeks after, we can probably see and kind of adjust the situation there.
So you're holding for now, not necessarily buying, but not necessarily selling either.
Correct. Yeah, I think you kind of just hold right now. Again, if you can find kind of sneak a pretty good trade in for him, like maybe something like a position that you kind of just sit and wait, like something you have an XX of, or maybe trade someone for a handcuff plus a little bit more, in another position that you just don't need. I think maybe you can do something like that, but otherwise I wouldn't go out of my way. I wouldn't sell the farm for him just quite yet, especially in redraft leagues.
Never do the 1 for 2. You're losing a point for that. All right. Brian, tell us a little bit about Nico Collins. Are you panicking on Nico Collins, or are you going to be patient?
No, I'd say be patient. Honestly, it's kind of, I wouldn't say panic on just him. Everybody's kind of panicking on that whole Texans offense right now. I'm just kind of waiting for the O-line and everybody to kind of step in. I know they've had issues in the past. CJ Stroud has been hurried on about, I think it's 42% of his passes. If they can kind of give him more time, he can kind of break down. Nico can open the streams. I know that Jade and Higgins and Stroud kind of haven't hit that stride yet, and how well they work together. Once Higgins kind of moves in and kind of take that pressure off of Nico, I think Nico can also kind of get better. I know they're also kind of missing their run game a little bit. Chubb's doing a good job kind of stepping in, but they're definitely missing Mixon for sure.
All right. So what are you doing with him? You holding on?
Yeah, you hold on. You hope that O-line gets their stuff sorted together. Once they do, and Stroud can get a little bit more time to stretch the field and find his targets, Nico's going to start getting back to where he's being drafted at.
All right, so let's talk about the one guy who really seems to be pulling a disappearing act so far this season, and that's A.J. Brown. That's a big name that's drafted high, and so far has really had nothing to show for it. Bobby, what do you have to say about A.J. Brown?
I actually have A.J. Brown in the league. I have Devontae Smith in a few as well, so I'm invested in the Eagles' passing game this year in a number of leagues. I'm not panicking at all. I still have a lot of patience. First of all, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, mainly A.J. Brown, since that's what we're talking about, they're getting paid too much money, and they're too talented for them just completely ignored from the offense all year. And last year, Eagles were very run heavy. A.J. Brown still finished over a little over 16 fantasy points per game PPR wise, according to Fantasy Pros. Now, each of the last 3 years since he's been with Jalen Hurts, he's been a top 6 fantasy receiver, except last year. But that's because he was hurt some of those games. But if you extrapolate his 16 fantasy points per game over a full 17-game season last year, he still ends up in that top 6 to 8 wide receiver range. It just doesn't always look pretty because they're going to have these games where they may not be getting the volume that we need. They're going to be running the ball. But it's kind of like you close your eyes and then you're at the end of the season, and there he is again as a top 8 fantasy wide receiver. I have no doubts that they're going to turn it around. Jalen Hurts has shown that he's capable of throwing the ball and being successful at it when he needs to. At Eagles, again, they're going to be in tougher competition. I think they're going to have other games where they're going to have to throw the ball. And again, I just think these two guys, especially him and Devontae Smith, are just too talented to not be part of this offense. They're not going to be completely ignored all season. So I'm holding AJ where I have him, and I'm definitely buying low if I can to try and get him from someone else.
All right, a lot of confidence in that take. Now let's talk running backs. Chase Brown is a big name, obviously. There's been a situation change over there with the loss of Joe Burrow. John, what are you doing with Chase Brown?
I am not only am I being patient, I am buying. I'm like actively shopping to buy him. I think obviously no Joe Burrow, and he already has that bell cow role. He's been seeing a lot more of the expected fantasy points. He just kind of had a slow start again. They've just being in a tough, not even a tough situation, just like Joe Burrow too, and then just seeing just kind of like the team just not kind of performing how we kind of expected so far. But also I think like with Jake Browning, like you kind of know what you're getting with him. Like he's a backup, and like you just need him to kind of tread water. But I think that just like this is now his opportunity to show that he can be that bell cow. He can have the 30 carries and just absolutely carry this team. And I think he's going to do it. I think he is primed for it. And then obviously just taking any of the thank you, 20 points. I saw that. You can't take it back now. So no, but seriously though, I do like I said, I am actively buying him in any league that I can. So I think that we are going to see a healthy dose of running, and his situation too is one of the better ones. That there's really no one else. Like it is just him for the most part. So we're gonna see a lot more Chase Brown going forward.
All right. Yeah, Chase Brown honestly is one of my biggest targets that I would try to trade for right now. Him and AJ Brown, like Bobby previously mentioned. All right, so Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about Tony Pollard and what you're going to do with his situation right now?
Pollard, you keep him, man. I mean, he's on, just like kind of Chase Brown, what you were saying. He's the only one on the field. He's on the field 89% of the time. Game 1 and game 2. I mean, Tajay Spears is obviously not in right now. That offense as a whole, I don't think it could get any worse in terms of the passing situation. I only see ups, and once they do, they can kind of relieve that box that he's kind of getting stuck in. I mean, Cam Ward got sacked. He's the most sacked quarterback in the NFL right now at 11, and that's by a good margin. And he's throwing 50% of completion because of that. And honestly, that I don't think that's going to stay. I think Cam Ward is going to find his groove. He's going to finally start hooking up with Calvin Ridley, and that offense is going to kind of get its juice rolling. I mean, they also had kind of pretty tough matchups the first 2 games. They're just basically starting their game on nightmare mode, and then once they get to an easy defense, they're not even gonna know if it's gonna feel like they're actually playing college teams again. So Pollard, and once that offense goes, Pollard's going to start busting open.
All right. So let's talk a little bit. Bobby, I'm going to have you talk about a few different running backs here that all belong in the same group. These were all very hyped this season, and that is the rookie running backs this year. So I'm talking specifically about Ashton Jeanty, Omarion Hampton, Trevion Henderson, and RJ Harvey. Now, right now, if you look at the top rookie running backs, the names are Dylan Sampson, Bill, Bajal Tootin, and these guys that I mentioned are all ranked below them right now. So what are you doing with these guys if you drafted them high or higher up on your board? I know a lot of times it does take rookie running backs a little bit to settle into their system, but who of these guys are you panicking on? Who are you trying to move? Who are you trying to trade for out of these 4 rookie running backs?
Yeah, overall, I'm preaching patience here. Like you said, K-Mac, they take time sometimes to develop into their new system. I mean, we've seen it time and time again in years past how rookies just take a little bit of time sometimes to really develop, and then they take off second half of the year, even earlier than that. I mean, last year, Bucky Irving, you could say, I remember 2020, Jonathan Taylor got off. He was splitting carries or under Marlon Mack, and he took off second half of the year. Justin Jefferson was kind of quiet his first few weeks as a rookie. So, you just look down the list, and a lot of times, rookies start slow. I mean, look, college is different sometimes from the NFL. Sometimes it just takes them time to adjust to the NFL speed. But again, these teams, particularly with Jeanty and Hampton, these teams invested first-round draft capital in them, so they're still going to be a big part of their offense. To start with Jeanty, I'll be honest, with Ashton Jeanty, I like him, but I was not in on him where he was going in drafts. I don't think you're going to get late first-round, early second-round value for Ashton Jeanty. I don't see him being kind of that top 6 fantasy running back where he was drafted, so I think that ship has sailed. But can he be a low-end RB1, high-end RB2 in fantasy? I think absolutely. The Raiders still ultimately with Pete Carroll, they want to run the ball. They drafted him that high for a reason. There was something came out saying they want to get him 20 carries a game. And honestly, he hasn't looked too bad in terms of his athleticism and the way he's running. I think a lot of it's the offensive line. He's getting hit a lot at the line of scrimmage. But the big issue with Jeanty I see, especially that Monday night game, is pass protection. He just kind of looked lost out there. And I think, again, that's something that's going to come with time. But again, they drafted him, what was it, 5th, 6th, or top 10 overall for a reason, or 12, wherever they picked him. They're going to use him. And so I think I'm going to buy Ashton Jeanty if I can, but with the expectation that he's not going to return value where you drafted him. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 fantasy running back. I think, but you compare him with guys that are around that range, like Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, guys that are drafted that high, ended up being really good for fantasy. Just the eye test, I think, those guys are just on a next level than Jeanty, but I still really like Ashton Jeanty, and I think he can settle into that pretty nicely. And again, the Raiders want to use him. Now, Hampton, I know you and I invest and talk a lot about Hampton, K-Mac. I am not panicking on Hampton at all. Hampton, again, Chargers drafted in the first round. He's built like an NFL running back. He has the size, the strength for it. He has speed when he gets to the second level. And the thing is, when Najee Harris went out after 4th of July, Hampton had basically this whole 2 months of training camp to work with the first-team offense and getting those first-team reps. And that's a big deal. And you talk about pass protection, which is big in coaches' eyes for these rookies. Hampton did a great job in pass protection on that Monday night game. That touchdown pass to Keenan Allen, if you look closely, Hampton was the one that kind of held his own on the rusher and allowed Justin Herbert to kind of get around and make the play to Keenan Allen rolling out. I think the issue with Hampton is just rookie mistakes. The first game he had that he didn't get out of bounds, and he went out of bounds and stopped the clock and gave the Chiefs those 3 points at the end of the half. And then obviously Monday night he had the fumble, couldn't punch it in from the goal line. I think, look, Harbaugh and Greg Roman, they still ultimately want to run the ball. I know it's still going to be a pass-first offense as it should be, I think, with Justin Herbert the way he's playing. But those guys have championship aspirations, and they clearly want to run the football. They brought in Najee Harris, but I think it's more of a complimentary guy because they only paid him, $5 million for the year. I think they ultimately want Hampton to be the lead guy, and I think that'll come. It's a great offense. It's a great ecosystem. You just got to be patient. And then Trevion Henderson,
All right. I think you talked long enough. I'm going to let Brian and John talk about Trevion Henderson and RJ Harvey. John, who do you want to talk about?
I'll take Henderson. I think Henderson, it's kind of just like he's I think it's one of those things like we know he's going to be good. Like he's put up enough. We've seen the tape. Just to kind of just go real quickly over it, but I think it's just more so just like the situation that he's in. I think that New England team is just not very good. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think
everybody was calling Ramondre washed, and he's looking good right now.
Yeah. So it's just, I think it's just at the end of the day, like I think the situation is just not the best. Again, from the team, just from the and just like them sharing carries and everything. So I don't personally think that it's a great one. Panic is the wrong word because rookie at the end of the day. But I would say that I would be very, very cautious. And then like we've talked about New England running backs for years, like from the Belichick years, like you never want New England running back, and this honestly might end up becoming it might just stay true. That just very well is very much cut from that same cloth, it seems.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell who's going to get the ball there. As soon as you start investing in one of them, then somebody else is going to get those carries.
I think it just depends on who they're playing too.
It was free against the Dolphins. The Dolphins don't have a defense.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And well, like Trevion has that second level speed, but Ramondre is looking straight powerful right now. So it's like whatever they're needing at that moment, it's going to go through. Yeah, and that's who they're going to go with. RJ Harvey. That running back situation over it. I mean, the whole offense in a whole for the Broncos it kind of just seems a little weird. Troy Franklin is coming out to be the top receiver as so far. I'm not saying he's going to supplant Sutton in its entirety, but it's the other thing is last year the Broncos kind of had it really easy in terms of schedule. And their run game still was not the greatest. And then they kind of went to a rookie, and and honestly, I don't really have faith in the Broncos run game this year either. They're going to be facing a lot tougher opponents. They're going to get used to a new road scheme, and then you got Bo Nix who's trying to put on the one-man show, trying to make highlight throws. And you don't know if that's going to put them ahead or he's going to put them behind. And then if they're behind, it's going to be throwing all day, like Flacco, 50 times a game. So yeah, I mean, Harvey, he's kind of got put in a hard situation. Unfortunately, I think the Broncos are just going to kind of they're going to be facing a lot tougher opponents this year, and he's just going to get a brunt of it.
And so what are you doing with him? Are you buying, you selling, you holding?
I'll be honest, I'm selling. He's not a win now kind of running back in my opinion. There is a lot of other running back options that is more reliable at this point. And with that Broncos schedule that they have this year, it's kind of hard to make that choice. I mean, Javonte, who
RJ Harvey's clearly the best running back in the class. Definitely no bias going into that. I am the non-biased moderator. Has nothing to do with my college Go UCF Go Knights. And I can't believe that you would besmirch him like that. So you only lost 1 point, but you gained it right back. Just because you're blaming the system, not the runner, right?
Yeah, he's getting put in a tough situation, and it's like I said, they didn't have a established, very strong established run game last year. What makes you think that a harder schedule, it's Sean Payton. You never know if he's going to have the same scheme or something completely different, and it's just he's unreliable in my opinion. And like I said, there's a lot of other running backs that you can kind of buy in now, rather than buying into RJ right at the moment.
All right. So that's enough talking about what's gone on so far this season. Let's take a step back and take a look into the past. And we're going to go back to our favorite segment, Mock Drafted. So, Bobby, you're a newcomer to this. Brian, John, you've been here before. The idea for this segment is we are going to take a look back in the past. I'm going to pick a particular week from a past season, and you guys are going to draft a team. You're going to put it together. going to each choose one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, and one flex. That could obviously be anything but a quarterback. And right now the score is close. Bobby is in the lead with 22 points, Brian at 21, John at 20. A little twist this week. I'm going to give you guys the score for this segment, whatever your fantasy score is for the week of the team that you draft. And that
I'm
being
not putting
said,
on a blindfold this time.
all right, we're going on the honor system here, saying that you're not cheating, even though currently you are the only one with access to a computer. And I'm not blaming you for cheating. I'm not going to do that. We've gotten past that. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna blame you
Kyle.
for cheating. Unfortunately, I don't think Kyle's listening or watching right now, but I'm sure he's still finding a way to blame Lion Brian. All right. So it looks like we did lose John, but we could get the show started without him, get these first couple draft picks out of the way. So let's take a look at what week we're going into. So for this edition, we are going into 2024. That's last year, week 14. Oh, John is back. Let me add him back in. There he is.
Sorry,
All right.
I didn't quite hear the week. So
14.
This is going to be week 14 of last year.
okay.
Last regular season fantasy, or last game of the fantasy regular season in most leagues, I think.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And we are going to start with John, and we are going to do snake draft order. So John, Brian, Bobby, then coming around back.
Week
So-
14. I think that was crazy. Was we still had buys at this time?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go safe with the 101 that it seems to be just the safe pick every time. I just don't know if they have the buy or not, but I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase. That week. Is this a typo? If that's not a typo, then you may be very well in luck. Jamar Chase that week had, all right, I got to figure out the right way to do this. 45.1 fantasy points. Big week for Chase. All right, Brian, you are up.
All right. Well, we kind of already know the game. Somebody had 45. That means Joe Burrow probably went off that week too.
Joe Burrow did go off that week for a pretty modest week, actually, all things considered, for the big of a week that Joe Burrow had, or that Jamar Chase had. So Burrow, he had a total of an acceptable 25.6 points.
Solid.
So Bobby, you are back to back. Who do you got?
It's a PPR, I guess, scoring. Or
Correct.
half
This is PPR.
I only remember like one or two games from this week for right now. So I remember I'm going to take a stack here. I'm going to go, I think it was the game Brock Purdy and George Kittle. I think that was when they played the Bears, and they both had really good games.
All right, so we're going to start with Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy had a total of 22.1 points. And it's serviceable.
Did Bobby snake that one? Yeah.
So Bobby, sorry, I still have Jonathan written on there. All right. So we said Purdy with a total of 22.1 points. And then you said Purdy and Kittle,
George
you said?
Kittle. Yeah.
So Kittle had 21.1 points. So using Kittle in
good
your
snipe
flex
there.
to get 21.1. And Excel doesn't really want to work right now. I2 plus I3 plus I4. That's not right. I2. I3 plus I4 plus I5. All right. As you can see, I'm not the best at Excel, but we make it work. Math isn't my strong suit. I still don't think that's right. All right, let me try this again. Wait, I2 plus I3 Plus I4, plus I5. I see where I'm wrong. This is fun, isn't it? All right, so 21.1 for Kittle. Boom. All right, we're back around. This is exciting stuff, I know. All right. And don't, if anybody's in the comments, our one viewer right now, don't tell me about ranges in Excel. I'm not going to listen to it. All right, Brian, who do you got?
Thank God. Yeah, well, I don't know if Amanda's watching then. You know what? I'm big on him this year, and I think he ended the last year pretty strong. Malik Neighbors.
Ooh, interesting pick. Yeah, I think he ended the season well last year. So, K-Mac, just drag, if you want to just drag the cell that you have correct, if you want to drag that one just to the left, it'll be the other two, and it'll populate it like that.
All right, I'll figure that out later. All right, Brian, you said Malik Neighbors?
Yeah.
I want to do fantasy football, not math. All right, Malik Neighbors. I'm scrolling down. That's not a good sign. All right.
Ooh.
Not terrible, but I had to scroll down a bit. 14.9 points for Malik Neighbors. Well, now everything's out of control. Hold on. Neighbors. 14.9. All right. John, you're back on.
I'm going to take my one brownie point that I usually take. I'm going to go Tua.
Tua.
Smart man.
Tua. Tua actually had a top 5 QB performance that week.
Let's go, baby.
Tua had 23.5 points.
Hell yeah.
And you get to go back to back here.
All right, so I need a running back and a flex. I am going to go with I'll take my flex, I guess, here. I'll do another receiver. I think I'm going to go – I feel like I know the Bills had some high-scoring games at the end of the season. I'll take Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. All right, let's see.
You said for last year?
Yeah, last year, 2024.
Diggs was in on the Bills.
Oh, no, yeah.
I think Diggs might have been injured at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was – oh, yeah.
So that's a total of 0 points.
That's a 0. It's okay.
I lost
that one. Yep, I had a brain fart there. See, this is what happens when I can't. I'm like all out of whack. Like thinking I'm on my phone. Like I don't have any pages of. All out of whack.
Wait, you normally have pages up?
Well, yeah, like my.
I
had my eye move one time. He openly admitted a page.
Not for mock drafted. Like
okay, now I see why you're the 2 times champ.
All
right. Okay. Oh yeah, so that's a total of 0 points. Brian, you are back.
I'm again gonna kind of see what the way Tua was doing and who he was thrown to last year at the end of the year. I'm gonna go with Jonnu Smith.
Nice.
Jonnu Smith. You guys don't need to go tight ends, but sure, let's do it.
I mean, he was throwing to him so much last year at the end of the year.
13.4 points for Jonnu Smith.
That's a respectable tight end day, though.
Yeah, it is, but not for
Not for this, yeah.
Yeah, not for this.
Yeah, for a tight end, it's not bad, but you don't have to pick a tight end here, guys. So now the numbers are all justified wrong. All right, this is. I apologize to the viewing audience who has to look at me struggle through Microsoft Excel. Actually, this isn't even Excel. This is Google Sheets, which is better anyways.
When I get my computer back, K-Mac, I'll make a table for you.
Beautiful. I love it. All right, Bobby, you're back with back-to-back picks.
So, I mean, if Chase had a really good game, Burrow had a good game. I had Chase Brown last year, and I know he was good down the stretch. So I'm going to take Chase Brown for my running back spot.
Chase Brown did have a good game Chase Brown had a total of 24.3 points.
And then for receiver, I know that Brian Thomas had a good. I think he was good down the second half last year, talking about rookies. So I'll take BTJ.
All right, Brian Thomas Jr. Scrolling down a little bit. Okay, it was actually a pretty decent week. 16.6 points.
I will take that.
Respectable.
That's better than Malik.
16.6. Giving you a grand total of 84.1 points. Brian, John, can one of you guys beat that?
Whew. No. This
You guys each have a running back to choose.
Well, this is the end of the season, but it's week of fantasy. You know, I know they sat Saquon the last game of the year because he already hit 2,000, and he was gonna. They were like, play him to beat that last one, so I'm not gonna choose him. I want to go straight Dolphins again, but you can go Devon AJ too. But you know what? I'm gonna kind of keep it safe though, and Jonathan Taylor.
Solid.
Jonathan Taylor
He was one I was
did kind of
considering.
go on a roll. But the thing about Jonathan Taylor and the really bad thing about week 14 buys,
Was he on bye that week?
Jonathan Taylor was on a bye week that week. So that is a goose egg for you.
Oof.
I usually win this. This is the one I need all the points.
I
This
think
is the one to
Aaron's
go. It's like, this one's
last
like-
place of this particular matchup.
All right.
All
So
right.
my last one, I'm gonna go someone who I think was pretty good. And they're just a good player that I like. I'm gonna go Kieran Williams.
Kyron Williams.
Kieran,
Right,
whatever you call him. The dude from the,
I was
the
just curious
dude
if-
from the
yeah.
Rams.
What is wrong with me? I should have just went Bijan, not Bijan.
All right, that is 23.7 points, which
Okay.
puts you in the lead. So for this segment, John got a total of 92.3 points. Brian got a total of 53.9, and Bobby got a total of 84.1. We're keeping it to whole numbers here, so John and Bobby are being rounded down. Brian, you're being rounded up. So 92 points for John, 84 points for Bobby, 54 points for Brian.
I kind of want to look
So-
it up. What was Bijan and?
I will tell you right now, you guys missed a huge opportunity there. Josh Allen had a 51.9 point game.
Was that the game they played Detroit?
No, it was
that
the
might have.
Rams.
Wait, no.
I think it was the Rams because if Kieran had the good game, I think it was like a 45-42 game or something like that.
Also, pick a Seahawk. They went off too. Zach Charbonnet led the running backs with 38.3 points. Sam Darnold, actually no, he wasn't a Seahawk. Then never mind. But
No, that was a Viking.
yeah, this is just giving me the updated team. But he got 34.6 points. So there were some definitely high scores that were left on the board with that. So, all right, let me just recap that. John got 92 points. Brian got 54 points. And Bobby got a total of 84 points. All right, that was fun, and definitely no issues there. We're going to forget any of that ever happened. Moving on over to our next segment, 1st and 10. This time we are going back to the year 2021 and talking about some tight ends. So not going too far back in the past this time, 4 years back, looking at our top 10 PPR tight ends of 2021. Now we are going to start with John, move on to Bobby, then Brian. You all are starting at first down. For those of you who don't know the rules, if you get it wrong, you advance it down. You stay at your current down if you get it right. 10 points if you guess the player, 15 points if you guess the player and the number. No penalty for guessing the correct player, but the wrong number. So, John, why don't you kick us off? Who do you got?
All right, 2021. Trying to think what was going on. I don't know if we'd started the podcast yet, or maybe we were just about to start. Because I had just moved up to Jersey. I'll go safe, and I'll say Travis Kelce at 3.
All right. So, spoiler alert: Travis Kelce is on the board, but he is at number 2.
Okay.
So that is 10 points for you. You stay on first down. All right, moving on to Bobby. Take your pick.
Yeah, I think this was the year that it was Mark Andrews first place.
You said Mark Andrews with which place?
First.
One. He was first.
That is correct. Mark Andrews was the number 1 tight end that year. That is 15 points for Bobby.
The hook and switch on me for that year.
All right, Brian.
Was this the year? I'm trying to remember when he was drafted. Kyle Pitts. I think this was his first year in the league. Right. I'm gonna say Kyle Pitts at 3.
Kyle Pitts at 3. Number 3 is not Kyle Pitts, but Kyle Pitts does make an appearance on the board at number 6. All right, we're going to take a brief pause in the game after this round to answer some questions that come in. I'll let any of you guys tackle any of these answers. Avery has a question in the chat. Should I trade Walker and Pearsall for Hampton and Brian Thomas? Anybody want to tackle that?
Is this a dynasty league or what are we doing on that?
I'm going to assume PPR usually, and I'm going to assume redraft if you don't say it.
Yeah.
I would keep Walker and Pearsall if it's PPR. Dynasty, obviously Hampton and Thomas good investments in the future, but when I know Purdy's going to be out probably for a little bit, but Pearsall, I think he's easily the number 1 on that team. And then Walker's looking good. I mean, he's everybody thought Zach Charbonnet was going to kind of kick in, and now looks like they're like rewinding. About this time of last year, I think Walker, that's when they already started to switch going to Zach, but now I think the pressure's kind of put on Walker to kind of show up. I think it's also that same kind of situation what happened in the Jaguars. Everybody thought Tanks Bigsby because they started pulling Etienne out and then Bigsby playing more, and then now that they're full Travis Etienne's believers this year. So I think they're also going to believe in Walker. Brian Thomas, I don't know what's going on with that Jags offense, and he's just going to be a casualty of it. And then Omari and Hampton, I know he does look NFL ready, but I mean they've given him the carries the first 2 games, and good old Pirates gonna fucking steal a whole bunch of touches and probably touchdowns from his this year, because I was gonna say Harbaugh literally said he was a big Najee Harris fan, and Hampton, he definitely has the ability to be the number 1, but he hasn't started. He's had almost 40 carries and he's averaging 2.2 yards. He's averaging 2 point something yards a carry to start the year, and that's not a great start for a rookie in any way. And it's, right. Sometimes they need to get started.
Anybody else have anything they want to quickly add to that?
I think it's kind of equal value, honestly, when it comes to them, especially like in redraft. I wouldn't actively go to from you go from Ricky Pearsall to Brian Thomas. I wouldn't actively go to like an okay situation, even with Purdy out for a couple of weeks to someone who's in a really bad situation between just a really poor offense and then just someone who's going to be competing with targets for, especially with Travis Hunter. So I would probably stick with the Walker Pearsall combination.
All right. Seem to have some consensus here. We got one more question before we move back into the game. Broly asks, Kyren Williams or Jordan Mason? Start one.
I'm actually in that position in one of my leagues. I have both players. What's your name? Broly? Broly, I'm starting Jordan Mason. Kyren Williams, they said they want to get Blake Corum a little bit more involved. Blake Corum did get a goal line carry and punched in for a touchdown. And Kyren Williams and the Rams are playing the Eagles, who have one of the best run defenses. Meanwhile, Jordan Mason, you know, this guy's going to be the clear starter. With Carson Wentz in there, I think they're going to lean on the run even more with Aaron Jones out now. And Jordan Mason led the league in rushing the first 5 or 6 games last year when he was filling in for Christian McCaffrey. He's going to see a lot of volume, and it's a good matchup against Cincinnati. So I'm actually going to start Jordan Mason over Kyren this week.
All right. So Jordan Mason it is. All right. With that being said, let's move our way back into here. Where are we? Here somewhere. Almost. There we go. Here we go. All right. No technical difficulties at all. So you guys all got one correct. Maybe I made it too easy this week. But let's see, filling out the rest of this list. John, it's back to you.
I'm going to go Darren Waller at 7. I feel like
I didn't go yet.
There. I just don't remember. I just don't know where.
Wait, hold on. Who didn't go?
Oh, I did go. I'm sorry. I did put Mark
Yeah.
Andrews. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah.
You
got
said
Mark
Darren
Andrews.
Waller?
Yeah, my bad.
Oh, I got
I said
Pitts,
Darren Waller.
but
Yeah. You guys all got that. Oh, yeah.
My bad. Yeah, my fault.
Let me see.
You
I
just
need to
didn't
give
get
you your
Brian
score.
points,
So you get
yeah.
10 points for that. Darren Waller is not in the top 10. So you do move to second down. And I keep clicking on the
Okay.
wrong screen
Where was he?
here. All right. This is going. He was number 15.
Okay.
So you moved to second down.
Trying to think who else did we have that year.
And Bobby, it's back up to you.
I'll go George Kittle, maybe 5.
George Kittle is on the board. He is number 4, though. So you stay at first down, but you do get 10 points. So you are up to 25 for the round. Brian, close us out for round 2. Who do you got?
let me just say 2021. Let's go with Jake Ferguson at number 10.
I think
Not
this might be a little too early for Jake Ferguson. Jake Ferguson is not on the list. So you go to second down. And we got some more questions coming in. So let's see. We got Adam asking, should I trade away Jonathan Taylor for Bucky Irving and J-Mo?
ooh.
Anyone want to take a crack at that?
That's tight. I mean,
That
2 for 1 is
is-
nice. Because
That's not a bad 2 for
Especially
1,
with
though.
But
That's
you
That's not a
got
bad 2 for 1 either. Yeah,
Daniel
you're-
Jones is vulturing Jonathan Taylor's touchdowns too. So I mean, yeah, that's not a
crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Who'd
you
have
do it.
who'd have thought that
Crazy
since
statement.
has come out my mouth that
is
Daniel
the craziest
Jones.
statement to say in
I think
2020.
I think I would do it because to me, Bucky
I think
Irving
I
and
would
Jonathan
too,
Taylor are
actually, yeah.
similar value, and you're getting Jamison Williams. So assuming you need help at receiver, I would do it.
Yeah, but
I really like
Mhm.
Bucky Irving.
Daniel Jones also again faced a couple pretty easy matchups to start the season. I mean, he kind of just railed through the Dolphins. So he could have a strong second half of the year, but yeah, like you said, Bucky Irving's great value. James, yeah, that's a good 2 for 1 because if Jones keeps playing like this, he's going to probably steal a lot of his damn touchdowns.
All right, so I think we're all in agreement. Trade away Jonathan Taylor. Get yourself some Bucky Irving. Get yourself some Jamison Williams. You'll be happy you did, hopefully. Don't blame us if you're wrong. All right. So let's get back to it. Going into round 3 of this. Let's see here. Boom. All right. So recap: John is on second down. Bobby's at first. Brian is at second. John, back to you. Who do you got?
2021.
This is where it
Oh,
gets a little more challenging after the Andrews and the Kelseys and
Gronk.
Kittles are in pits.
Yeah. This was, I think, this was a Gronk year. Gronk was like, I'll say 8. I think he was around there.
With the Bucks, maybe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Rob
Yeah.
Gronkowski was on the list, not number 8. He is number 7. But you do get 10 points, so you're up to 20,
I'll take
and you
it.
stay on second down. Bobby, back to you. Can we actually fill out the list this time?
Man,
This is the best I think we've ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By far.
All right, let's go with Hunter Henry. I don't know what to say. Hunter Henry.
Oh,
Do you have a number you want to guess?
that's not a bad one.
10. I don't even know if I think he played for
Bobby, you were pretty good at this game.
No way.
Hunter Henry is number 10.
Ooh, man.
Did he? I didn't even know who he played for that year. Was it the Chargers or the Patriots?
2021.
No, that was Pats.
Was it Pats?
That was
Yeah, I
Pats.
think he was at the Pats.
I was lucky because
So we got 4 names still on the board. Brian, we are back to you. You're in second down. You have 10 points. Who do you got?
Around this time, and the thing is I don't know if he was injured this year or not, but I mean, that butt hurts. I gotta go with Zach Ertz, and I'll say number 5.
I believe you. I believe you. All right. Zach
What?
Ertz is number 5.
Oh,
Zach Ertz is number 5. So you are
He's
up
having
to
a good comeback
25
this year.
points. And wow, only 3 names left on the board. When you look at that, and you're still on second down. Any more questions? None right now, but if you have them, feel free to send them on in. Back up to John. Who you got?
2021. There's one person I really want to say, but I don't know if I want to waste it because I think it might be a throwaway pick. There's 2 actually that are kind of close. I'm gonna say Dallas Goedert at 8. I guess just Dallas Goedert at one of the 8s because they're both the same.
Dallas Goedert is at one of the 8s.
I was gonna say, and I switched it to Ferguson.
Yeah, I remember you said Dallas. No, Jake Ferguson. So yes,
Yeah, I heard him say
you
Dallas.
did
I was
get
like,
the right player,
I was like, that's not a bad pick.
right number.
Well, the
And
thing
now
was,
we're at
is
a point where
I
getting that right number is now a little easier. We've never gotten this far before. I'm proud of you. I'm gonna have to make it a lot harder next time. A lot harder. All right, Bobby, it's back to you. You're still at first down. You got 40 points. Who do you got here?
Evan Ingram at 9.
Evan Ingram is not in the top 10. So you go to second down to join the rest of them. You stay at 40 points. Brian, it is back to you.
All right, this might be the first time we've done this in the show. If I punt,
You're at second down. You don't need to
I know.
punt.
Okay, that's one wondering.
You don't need to punt now.
Don't need to punt now. I'm only on 4th.
Who punts on second down? That's a Mike McDaniel move right there.
Mm.
I don't want to hear it. You can't see it right now, but you're losing a point.
Oh, come on. I didn't break the
No,
rule.
I'm kidding. You're gaining a point. You're right. You're right.
And what was
Thank
I
you.
gonna say was damn, this is 2021. Who was still playing?
You got to make a pick.
Do Pat Fur? How do you say his last name?
Nope.
Furs.
He is not on the list.
Nope.
Okay.
Pat Fryermuth is not
Freiermuth.
on the list. I don't think he was in the league yet. All right. So we got one question that's coming in before we get to our next round. We got God offered DeAndre Swift, MHJ. Oh, this is a big trade. All right, God offered DeAndre Swift, Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas Jr., and Trevion Henderson for ETN, JSN, and Kenneth Walker. That's a shakeup right there. Swift, Marvin Harrison, BTJ, and Henderson for ETN, JSN, and Ken Walker. Anybody want to take a stab at that blockbuster of a trade?
Ooh,
The name that stands out to me is JSN. I mean, I think he's off to a great start, but I think he's just going to be a rock solid wide receiver one for fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the best player in the deal, and we talked about Ken Walker and ETN. I think I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. You're kind of going like we talked about. You're going to a Trayvon Henderson situation, which we don't really like, a Brian Thomas Jr. situation that we don't really like, Marvin Harrison Jr. Wild spot.
Yeah, what you're kind of doing is you got 3 like probably running back 1, wide receiver 1, 1-2 for Ken Walker, and then in reality you get into running back 2, wide receiver 3 maybe BTJ, 2-3 Trevion Henderson, 2 like. Nah, would a trade that big? Yeah, I mean, if this is Dynasty, it starts making a little bit more because you got a long-term investment. Ken Walker, Etienne are a little older, and you're getting, Swift is probably the same age as Etienne, I think, but Henderson, BTJ, MHJ are all a lot younger.
I don't know. I'm going to assume it is redraft unless said otherwise. Also says he's trying to get Rice instead of Marvin Harrison Jr., then I'd consider it more. Maybe, I don't know. I think I still like those guys, ETN, JSN, and Ken Walker. I think those are 3 solid guys to have on your team right now. I'd say unless you're making your starting lineup better, I wouldn't pull the trigger on that. Maybe hold out or try to see if you get someone better because ETN's value is very high right now. And I think these other guys, JSN and Ken Walker, that's a good squad right there. And I'm not sure I'd want to get rid of it for that group of what's kind of questionable for the most part. So I think we are all on the same page there. All right, we got John coming in now. We got 2 Johns right here. I'm going to remove this one. There we go. All right. So back to the game. Yeah, we're not taking that trade probably. So let's go back here. John, you are back up. We got 2 names left on the list. Top 10 PPR tight ends of 2021. Any names you want to throw out here?
I'm going to throw out Hawk at 3. I don't know if that's too early for him or not, though.
That was my pick.
TJ Hawkinson, it's not quite too early, but he is not on the list. He is at number 15. So you do move to 3rd down. Bobby, you are back up. Got 2 names left.
Cole Kmet at 9.
Cole Kmet is not on the list.
I think he was drafted in 2021, like that year or the year after.
I know.
Yeah, Kmet was active that year. He is number 20 though, so no Cole Kmet here. So you are also at 3rd down. Brian, any names you want to guess here?
I'll throw a wild one up there. I know you had one decent year. Tyler Higbee at number 9.
Tyler Higbee is unfortunately at number 14, so you are at 3rd down. All right. So all of you are at 3rd down. We get one more guess each, one more incorrect guess each. But before we get to that, start sits. Jason, if you got any, throw them out and we will happily answer. Before we get to that, though, let's go through another round. John, who do you have to guess for number 3 or number 8?
I'm going to throw out a random one here, and he might have just gotten in, and it's someone that I've always liked, and that's going to go Mike Gesicki at 8.
Mike Gesicki is tied for number 8, so that's another 15 points for you. putting you up to 50 points. And you stay on third down. We have one name left on the list at number 3 this year. Bobby, you want to take a guess at who it is?
I'm gonna be off because I have no idea who it is. So, Jared Cook.
It is not Jared Cook. Brian, do you have a guess here?
Who would we go with? We already said Darren Waller, right?
Yes.
Henry was already there.
Yeah.
I know. I was just gonna say Antonio Gates 3.
Nope. You're on fourth down. John, you're the only one not on fourth down. Do you want to make a quick guess? Actually, I'll give you a few minutes or a minute or two to think about that. We got a lot of questions coming in from Jason. We'll tackle a couple right here. First question, start to full PPR. Hampton, Sticky Ricky, or Wan'Dale Robinson?
For me, Pearsall's in. Jennings didn't practice on Friday, and I think they have a good matchup against Arizona. Kind of banged up secondary. I would have Ricky in there, but Wan'Dale had a good game the last few weeks. He's been seeing the targets, but it's just for me, it's just the Giants, man. Like I don't know.
I'm gonna go against you on that one. I think I agree with the Ricky. You start Ricky, you start Robinson. Just because Robinson last year, this is a very odd stat. I think he had over 100 targets last year, and he's on that same pace. The odd stat that changed was that he had like an average of 5 yards per target, and now it's like I think he's averaging 14 yards a catch at this point. I mean, now I don't know if that number is going to be sustainable, but even if it comes down a little bit, Robinson's looking like the go-to guy outside of Malik Neighbors on that offense. And then kind of like you said, secondary on Arizona, who like blew the second half of game 2. Ricky's going to destroy them. So I believe Robinson and Ricky as well. All good with.
All right. So, Bobby, you said a Ricky for sure, and then did you say Robinson also, or?
I would lean Robinson here for everything that he said, and just he's seeing the targets, and as of right now, Hampton, we don't know if Najee's going to see more work this week, and obviously he hasn't really looked too good the first 2 games. I think season long, I'd still take Hampton, but it's hard to tell with week 3. So yeah, I would lean Wan'Dale, but for me, it's just the Giants, man. Russell Wilson, they're playing Kansas City. Kansas City doesn't want to fall to 0-3. I don't know, but I would lean Wan'Dale here and Ricky, of course.
Well,
Chiefs. I'm going to move on to the next question because we do got a few coming in. Sorry, Brian. Start one full PPR. Nick Chubb, Jaylen Warren, or Pittman?
Oof, that's a brutal one.
Yeah. I think Warren.
Warren probably.
I think Warren. I'm with Warren.
I mean, Warren, I know he wasn't the greatest. He wasn't the worst the first 2 weeks, though. And with PPR, I mean, Chubb is not catching anything. And then Pittman, I mean, that offense has so many weapons, but, the number one guy is, at this point, looking like Tyler Warren. I mean, he's getting everything. And I was not sure. In one of my dynasty league, I picked I think I let him pass. Well, it's also because I already have a tight end. But
all right, I'm gonna have one more question, and we are gonna get back to the game. Best QB streamer for the week: Mariota, dual threat; Penix, Geno, Rodgers, Darnold, Wilson, CJ, Trevor. Any of these guys? Any of you like streamers this week?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm in,
The
the,
guys who
I'm in a weird situation this year. Like in all my leagues, I have like all the stacks of like Lamar and Josh Allen. So like I haven't even looking at quarterbacks.
uh,
um,
on that list, I'll say who I'm biggest on. Not saying like who I think is bad. CJ, Darnold, and Geno. Those are my three biggest. With Geno Smith, yeah, he had a horrible week too, but it's also like he'll have one horrible game, and then next game he's gonna do a Russell Wilson and throw like 400 yards. Might throw another interception again, but he might throw 3 touchdowns. What was I gonna say?
I
Darnold
think
just
Russ
it's
may
a good offense.
I think Russ may be a sneaky one this week too against the Chiefs at home. Might not be a bad one.
Dude, Russell Wilson, I don't know. Like
No, that's
he is.
655 yard, like right?
400.
Is that a-
I like Russell Wilson right now. Like
Yeah, I think Russ
I
might
think
be
he's
the
one of the
one.
top streaming options right now. I think that looking at what he's able to do, it is against Kansas City, and their defense isn't a joke. Like, is he going to be able to replicate it against them? That's the only question there.
Well,
I think
I'll
he's
say
gonna just be
this:
throwing.
Chris
He's gonna be
Jones is
throwing a
gonna
lot.
straight up stomp Scatterbro, and then they're gonna have to air the ball the whole time. He's gonna actually face a big boy for the first time, and he's gonna get stopped. So, I mean, I definitely think with that Chiefs run defense, they're gonna have to go through the air. So Wilson, yeah, is actually also a really good stream on this one.
Yeah, I think Russ might be the streamer this week. Honestly, of those selections, I don't know. I don't hate it.
I see what you guys are saying. Darnold kind of sticks out to me too. They're playing the Saints, who not very good. They're the two quarterbacks that played the Saints first 2 weeks had good games against them. Darnold threw for almost 300. They're at home. It's a good matchup. And then honestly, call me crazy, but Mariota is a decent option too. I mean, when he was filled in for Jaden Daniels last year, he had, I think it was a top 12 QB finish. He can run the ball a little bit. I know it's Marcus Mariota. It's very risky, but it's a tough list. I mean, I see what you guys are saying with Russ too. I think there's some options here to consider.
All right. So we'll get back to the rest of your questions, but finish up this game first. All right. We are on to the next round. John is the only one who is not on fourth down. John, do you want to take one more guess here?
I honestly don't even have a guess. You can just,
You punted on third down.
Yeah, we're punting on third down. No. Again, like I legitimately don't even have a guess. Like I think we've kind of named everyone that I like even remember. Like I was even trying to think of like a deeper pick. I'm gonna say, but like even like the deeper pick, like someone's like saying something random like K-Dot or something like that. But like he wouldn't have been 3. Yeah, I legitimately have nobody, so I'm gonna say Tony Gonzalez.
All right. You're on fourth down.
Look, I did the same thing. I went
Bobby,
Antonio
taking the
Gates. I'm like,
points.
when did he retire?
Are you going to risk it for a guess here? Or are you going to take the points and walk away? Bobby?
Oh, I'm not risking the guess because I have no. I'm like.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's. Is everybody punting taking these points?
Yeah.
Nah, bitch, I'm going for it.
All right, who do you got?
I'm gonna lose if I don't. Oh god, this is like the worst punt ever. Was it Ben?
If you guess wrong here, you turn over your 40 points. And
I'm
let's take a
25.
look at the scoreboard real quick, just so you know, because things have changed a little bit. And there is this bonus round before we move to the finals. Just letting you know, there's going to be a quick bonus round. But before that, here is a quick update on the scoreboard. You are behind, but you are still in it. You guys have been earning some points for your answers on the question. So it is 121, 122 to 107. So you could take a risk here to get 15 more points. But if you lose, then you don't get any of these points, and you're pretty much out of it.
I'll punt it.
All right, you're going to punt it. So everybody's taking their points.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, John with 50 points, Bobby with 40, Brian 25. So for this segment, John with 50, Brian 25, Bobby 40. And
Was this
the reveal.
Was it that
Of-
Commanders tight end? What was his name? Ben
No one's seen
something?
this.
No, he is still in the league. It is Dalton Schultz.
Oh,
yeah.
and I have him, and I knew he
I
had a
had him
strong
that year.
year.
I thought
I
about
had him that
Dalton
year in a
Schultz.
I
couple
have
leagues.
him on my dynasty team.
This is the best you guys have done, though. Got it down to
Nice.
one name left, so I'm proud of you. I am gonna have to make it harder next week.
I just
So,
never thought he would be number 3.
Yep, Dalton Schultz. He had himself a good year that year.
Was
That was when he
uh,
was on the Cowboys. That's what
Yeah.
it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Not when he went to the Texans.
Mhm.
Damn.
All right, so I'm gonna ask a couple more questions, and we're gonna do a quick bonus round. It's gonna be a little bit different this week. So let's get back to some of Jason's question. We got start to full PPR, Pollard, Swift if he plays, and Myers.
Myers as in Brock or
Probably
I'm
Jacoby.
guessing Jacoby.
Jacoby Myers.
Okay.
I think it's Swift if he plays and Jacoby Myers. Like I would stay away from a Tennessee situation.
All right.
But obviously, like
Um,
if Swift doesn't play, then you're stuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Next question. All right, we got another big one. Start one, Drake May or Caleb? If you tell me to start Swift, I probably won't do Caleb. Mariota with my Terry stack, Rodgers, CJ Wilson, not CJ Wilson, that's a baseball player. Darnold, Penix, or Geno. All right,
So we got to basically
man,
make
that
a
is a
decision on
lot.
that QB. We got to make it because that looks like the one from earlier with all those QBs. We got to give him one.
yeah, a lot of these are still on that same list. Is this where we want to go, Wilson? Do we like Drake May here?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I think he was
May
the only
and
one not
Caleb
on
was
the list
added,
on the other
right?
one.
I
Yeah.
think I would probably lean the stack, honestly. If I'm not, again, like if you do have the stack, I think I would lean there personally. But I think again, I'm on the Russ train this week, honestly. If I had to start Russ, if I wasn't starting Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen yesterday, I would be on the Russ train.
But you're saying you prefer the Mariota Terry stack over the Russ
Correct.
train?
Yeah. Outside
Alright.
of the stack. Yeah, I would
I
say
like-
Wilson.
I don't
But
know.
if you
Of
have the
this,
stack, I would go the stack. But Darnold is not a bad pick either, though, because that New Orleans team is terrible.
I like Darnold.
yeah, I'm gonna throw this one's gonna kind of be a little weird. Caleb. I mean, him and Roman Dunze, he's got so many weapons. There's gonna be a week. I have a feeling that Caleb can easily throw a 5-touchdown week and kind of go off versus these guys.
Well, to me, I don't know. Are these two separate questions? Because is it like just Drake May or Caleb, and then the second question is just these QBs? Because to me, Caleb and Drake May are above all these QBs listed after them, in my opinion. I like Caleb too. That's one of the highest over-unders of the week projected by Vegas. I think it could be a shootout there. Both defenses aren't good.
I think that I think these are all the QB options that Jason's throwing out.
Oh, okay.
I think they're concerned about starting Caleb and Swift together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I don't really view that as much of a concern. Like, I think that they both can manage to eat. I wouldn't be too worried about it. I think if they get into the red zone, likely one of them is going to score, maybe even both. Swift could be used in the passing game too, you know?
He's a big pick. And I know in the past, especially when he was with the Eagles, unfortunately, Swift would always get him to the 1-yard line and then get his touchdowns vultured by Hurts. But I don't remember him having like any big years where he's always using goal line situations. So I wouldn't worry too much that Swift is going to steal touchdowns from Caleb. I mean, also I think Rome Odunze, 3 touchdowns. He's gotten targeted 3 times, more than I think all the other receivers. You want to know an interesting stack might be weird that you could always kind of throw it out there? It might be Caleb and K-Met. If you've got
Caleb and Cole Kmet.
Yeah.
Cole Kmet.
Okay. I mean, the question wasn't really about Cole Kmet, but
I know, I'm
yeah. All right. So yeah. Anyways, one last question before we move on to the bonus round. That's just saying QB questions because Fields is out in 2 out of 3 leagues.
A lot of QB injuries,
Yes.
man. I get it. I have a few QBs down too. I hear you.
There are a lot of QB injuries this week. Man, you got him. You got Jaden, Joe Burrow, big one.
I just love how Wentz was not even considered.
All right. So this week, bonus round is going to be a little bit different. Now, I am going to have you guys in order, starting with Bobby, then Brian, then John, back to Bobby, Brian, John. You guys will all have a chance to get an additional 3 points per player named here, as long as you can keep it going. Now, this is going to be a little subjective too. These are players who are not currently active, a fantasy football past, who can make me smile. You guys will have a few seconds to go on to the next one. If any of you repeat a name or don't say a name fast enough, you lose your chance and the game's over. Bobby started off. If you know the game, you know the game.
All right. Tony Jones Jr.
Eddie Lacy.
Brian. John.
Alvin Kamara.
Nope.
Are you still in the lead?
Bobby.
Maurice Jones.
Oh,
Drew.
it's people out of the league. Okay, I missed that part.
Brian.
Todd Gurley.
Bobby.
James Robinson.
Brian.
Tony Gonzalez.
That's a warning. That's too obvious of a name. Bobby.
Darrington Evans.
Brian.
Darren Sproles.
You're bordering there. You're good. You're good. Bobby.
Graham.
What?
What?
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham. Okay. Brian.
Michael Thomas.
Is he still in the league?
Can't guard Mike.
I got to check real quick.
I think he might technically still be a free agent.
He is a free
But he's
agent. I'll let that slide. Bobby.
Mike Sims Walker.
Brian.
Rob Gronkowski.
All right. No, these are too obvious. Game's over. All right. Bobby, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 points. Brian, you get 12 points. All right. Didn't matter too much. We still got Bobby and John. Sorry, it's not as creative as last week's or the week before where I had you guys draw things, but it'll get better, I promise. All right. So we have our scoreboard. We have our final 2. Brian, unfortunately, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. You had 145 points. You do come in 3rd place this week. John at 175, Bobby at 177. Still anyone's game. Well, almost anyone's. As we move into our final segment, a classic from our old fantasy football podcast, Last Minute Fantasy Scramble, Breakout Player of the Week. Now, I'm going to give the stage to both Bobby and John. You each are going to have exactly 60 seconds to sell me on who you think is the player that you have a feeling is going to do highest over projections for this week in this upcoming matchup. So, Bobby, you are in 1st place currently. Do you want to go 1st or 2nd?
I'll go 1st. I have my guy.
All right, give me 1 second to get this timer going. 60 seconds. You are on the clock now.
Mentioned it earlier in the podcast. We had a question. My breakout player of the week is Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason, as I mentioned, led the league in rushing the first 5 or 6 games when Christian McCaffrey was out filling in last last week. No Aaron Jones. You got Carson Wentz at QB against a exploitable defense. There's a quote from Kevin O'Connell saying something along the lines of they couldn't be more confident about him being the bell cow. That's why they brought him in. I think they're going to run the offense through Jordan Mason. He's going to have himself a day. And sneaky, I know it's PPR. He's not known for catching passes, but I think he's going to get some dump offs too. I'm very confident in Jordan Mason this week. Give me Jordan Mason for my breakout player.
All right, with 20 seconds to spare. All right, I like that. All right, John, you got a minute. Sell me on who your breakout player of the week is, starting now.
Hold on.
All right, starting not yet. Starting
all right, so
now.
My breakout player. Cool. All right, breakout player. I have Daniel Jones. We talked about him earlier, how he's kind of, it's crazy, but he's vulturing those touchdowns from Jonathan Taylor. They have a very, very easy matchup this week too against Tennessee. It is on the road, but again, they are a significantly better team than Tennessee right now. I think that we're going to finally see, has Daniel Jones finally, evolved into the quarterback that we all thought he was going to be, that the Mannings talked about. And it looks like maybe the Giants were the problem. You surround him with some talent. He's got a run game. He's got receivers in the passing game to throw to. In Pittman and Tyler Warren as well, and then obviously you have Jonathan Taylor, and then he still gives you that upside in the running game as well. His legs have been working well, and again, Tennessee is not if I didn't, am I still here?
We're losing him. All right, you're in and out. I'm going to give you 10 seconds to close your argument once you are back.
Okay, if I'm back in, I just was saying, he has the supporting cast, and he's gonna be a top 5 quarterback, borderline top 3.
All right, that's wild. All right, the way we're gonna do this, last time I let Brian and me judge, both give out 100 points equally. This time I'm going to change the weight of that a little bit. Brian, I'm going to give you 50 points to distribute. Afterwards, I will have 100 points that I can distribute any way I would like. You heard both of the arguments. Who do you pick? How do you want to split up those 50 points between Bobby's Jordan Mason and John's Daniel Jones? Who gave the stronger argument? Who sold you the most that you're going out and placing a bet on their over right now? I think he's muted. Yeah, he's muted. All right, this whole show is falling apart.
The suspense, man.
Jacob asks, trade Devontae Smith and Baker for Jacoby Myers? I have Josh Allen already. I would say no.
I wouldn't do that.
I think you could do better probably, and I would not sell Devontae Smith here. I would hold on to him.
Agreed.
Brian, I don't know what's happened to your voice. Did I mute you? No, you're not muted. You're just muted on whatever you're on, and maybe your headset died. Oh, your headset died. I know your headset died. I see that right now.
It didn't die. It didn't die. Mine never unmuted when I move it down. I was saying. I agree with you guys. I'd go with keeping Devontae Smith and Baker, and I was saying Daniel Jones. I think he's probably the bigger breakout player of the week. Just because I don't like this. Mason might also be coming into a tough situation with the Vikings and McCarthy. Yeah, they're gonna rely on him more, but will they stack the box on him? That's the question. If you know that they're not going to throw at that point, then you take away their run game. Then what are they going to have? I'm always a strong believer of having a balanced offense. If you can't throw the ball, then they're going to stop your run. I mean, that's why I feel Saquon struggled in New York as well. But yeah, Daniel Jones riding the train until it derails, probably midway through the season. But I think he's going to kind of keep strong.
So how do you split up these 50 points?
I'm going to say 35 Daniel, 15 Jordan Mason.
All right. So I already put my score on the board. I think we also do have a disagreement this week. Actually, we do have an agreement in one way. We both did give 35 points to Daniel Jones, but I gave 65 points to Jordan Mason. I think that he is in a really good situation this week. I think Bobby sold me that I am ready to go place a Jordan Mason over bet right now. Daniel Jones, I think that, he's played good so far. He's played really good. I'm not sure it is going to be as consistent and reliable as I think Jordan Mason is primed to do. I think he was a better running back to start in Minnesota. And I think right now, especially with Aaron Jones out of the picture, I think, like Bobby said, it just really opens him up to doing that. So I've put the final scores into the scoreboard, and I will announce it, and then I will reveal it. So, as we already know, in third place with 145 points, we have Brian. Now, in second place with 245 points, we have John Viveros,
I've been
who is no
dethroned.
longer the reigning champion. And in first place, in his rookie debut on points per take, with 257 points, we have the one, we have the only, Bobby Digital Janis. Bobby, the floor is yours. Anything you want to say?
Welcome to the age of digital. Look, I just will say one thing. It's only week 3. Try not to overreact to a lot of things. There's some trends that we see already, but as we talked about in the beginning of the show, I'm preaching patience on a lot of things because it's only week 3 of a 17-game season. So don't overreact to a lot of things. Stay patient with a lot of players because then you might make a move that you might regret later on. That's all I'll say.
All right, patience. We talked about it a lot on today's show. Hold on to those guys who are underperforming. And please, for the love of God, don't sell low. If a lot of these players, too, if you want to sell them, wait for them to have an up week. It's going to happen. It's bound to happen. If you don't like any of these rookies, wait for them to have a breakout week. I think that they all are going to go up from here. And the same thing with guys like go after those A.J. Browns. Go after like some of those other guys there, like the Chase Browns, the A.J. Browns. Those are 2 guys that we named tonight. These are names that you want to go after. So everybody, thank you for joining in. Please like our channel. Thank you for commenting, whoever did, and subscribe. Please subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube or follow us on Twitch. We're on X, we're on Instagram, Points Per Take. Really thank you guys for tuning in, and congratulations, Bobby Digital. We are in an age of digital now. And I do apologize for some of the technical difficulties we experienced during today's show. It will only get better from here, probably until the next show falls apart. So thanks for watching, everybody.
See ya.
See you on the next one.